Hi, I'm Tlish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. I hope you enjoy my content, and if you do, you should smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. And don't forget to follow the link tree in the description of this video in order to be redirected into my various media outlets like Facebook, Discord, and Patreon. So that's found in the description of this video. You should go check it out. I hope you're enjoying your day, and I hope you enjoy today's episode of Coffee and Clicks. Don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Tlish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. Today we are reviewing the best commons, uncommons, and rares for the CUR Pauper format, which is the format of my Epilepsy Research Foundation tournament. It is a charity tournament in January. January 16th is when it starts. It's going to be pod play. Builds are due on January 8th, which is a Friday. And the tournament is for good causes, for epilepsy research. I myself am an epileptic, and it's important to me. The cause is important to me. The tournament is called the Coffee and Clicks Classic. It's going to be the first Coffee and Clicks tournament, and I think it's for a good cause. So be sure to sign up for that. And the format, just to be really clear on the format, it's CUR Pauper. So it is the regular Pauper circuit rules for the tournament, which includes has to be Highlander rules. So every figure during force construction is considered unique. That does not include figures generated from outside the game, but during force construction, every figure is unique. It only includes common and uncommon game elements, but also CUR Pauper will include rare elements as well. So you can use common, uncommon, or rare game elements in the tournament. Also, primes are not allowed. Equipment and team ups are fine as long as they're common, uncommon, or rare. Um, no Galactus, unfortunately. But you can use starter set figures and also Fast Forces figures. So that's something that you can use just like in regular Pauper. And also you can use WWE figures. So those are fine for CUR Pauper. So it's going to be a really cool tournament. I'm excited to get as many people playing in it and trying out this format. So I'm going to go over all of the best commons, uncommons, and rares that you can use in this format. Now I'm not going to be highlighting figures like Dr. Fate or Cable or Joker from JLU because those figures, their traits allow you to produce more than one of the same figure during force construction, and that trait wouldn't be allowed in this Pauper format. So even though they're awesome commons and uncommons, those figures, and I would definitely include them in this list if it were not specifically a list for this format. But I will go through the commons, uncommons, and rares that are usable in this format, or most optimally usable in this format. So let's start with the commons. So these are the commons that I picked out, and I'm not participating in the tournament, but I am like overseeing it and or trying to organize it. So these are just commons that I think would be really good to use in this format. Starting with Wolverine from House of X. Wolverine 004. He's a common. He has Charge and Flurry. He's got Stealth. He's got improved movement and improved targeting hindering. He's got Precision Strike, Combat Reflexes. The Stealth and the Combat Reflexes really combos really well. And he also has a number of really great team up cards that have already been previewed that are usable with him. I saw I was trying out a team with him and his team up card that gives everybody Jean Grey School for Higher Learning keyword at Force Construction, which would be good with some of the Regenesis figures like that Beast and even the other Wolverine from Regenesis. If you could play around with that. So I think this Wolverine's really good. He's got Charge and Flurry. He's only 60 points. He's got Stealth, and he's got good defenses. So that's the Wolverine. We'll take a look at another common. Okay. So the second common I want to take a look at is Trinary. So we'll look at her. Okay. So Trinary is and by the way, thank you to Joe Pangrazio and Clix, the makers of Clix Nexus, for getting these figures up really early, and I'm using their website for this review. So thank you to Clix Nexus. So here's Trinary. She is a common. Oh yeah, they're all commons. The ones that I'm reviewing first are commons. Trinary is really great. She's got Sidestep and Incap and Outwit. But the cool thing about her is that it says there's a trait, please don't blow her up. When establishing theme teams, you may choose a friendly character with the robot keyword of 50 points or less. That character doesn't count against theme teams. And so she's really good on X-Men theme teams. And I think Krakoan Revival and also just X-Men theme teams are going to be popular in this format, and she allows you to include a robot on your force that doesn't, you can use that. The Danger Room construct Magneto would be my first choice in this format, and he is also a common that I'm going to be reviewing on this list. So there you go. There's Trinary. She's really good, and not only can you do that, but you can use Outwit from, like, let's say you include Magneto, the Danger Room construct Magneto. You can use Outwit, drawing, counting range and drawing line of fire from that Magneto, from that robot keyworded character, which is really good. So yeah, great piece. Trinary is a great piece. Let's take a look at the next one. Dr. Alia Gregor. I think people are going to be doing some shenanigans with her, using some shenanigans. She's got leadership. She's only 20 points, and she's got leadership. If you include her on a scientist team, that would be really good. Or you might use her non-themed. But she gives friendly bystanders +1 combat values if they're within 5 squares of her. So even you combine that with Mary Jane Watson, make the paparazzi all +1, or I'm not sure what other figures in this format produce bystanders, but I like Dr. Alia Gregor. I think a lot of people like this figure. Let's take a look at the next one that I picked out. This one was interesting. I wasn't sure if I was going to include him, but I just really like this figure. Toxin. I think he's a solid attacker. He is. He's got the. He's really good value for 50 points. He's got 6 clicks of life. He has Blades, Claws, Fangs, and he has that leap climb power where he can move 9 squares with leap climb, and then make a close attack. I mean, it's a close attack, but he can still make that close attack after moving 9 squares, which gives him a lot of reach. And then once he ties you up, he has plasticity and shape change and blades, claws, fangs. So he's kind of nasty when he gets in close. Plus he has combat reflexes. So he's pretty nasty once he gets in close to you. And he has that police team ability so that he can make your range figures better. So yeah, I like Toxin a lot. I think he's a good common to use. He's a tough one. Let's take a look at another one. Mary Jane Watson. I think this is an obvious choice. She's one of the superstars of the set. Spider-Man, Venom, and Absolute Carnage. Mary Jane Watson has sidestep, shape change, energy shell deflection, and she has the secret identity, which you can use in the Pauper common CUR Pauper format. You can use that, and you can even turn her into Marvella, because I think Marvella is a rare. I think I forgot to list Marvella on for my rares, but she definitely deserves to be on there. Marvella is a great piece. So Mary Jane Watson. Let's scroll down a little bit here. Need a distraction. Tiger, don't forget you're married to a movie star. Power, if no friendly bystanders named paparazzi are on the map, roll a d6, generate a number of paparazzi bystanders equal to half the result in unoccupied squares within 4 squares. So that's, she doesn't need line of fire to generate those paparazzi. They just need to be within 4 squares of her. And the paparazzi, she can generate up to 3 of them because it's a d6 cut in half. So here's what the paparazzi look like. They have sidestep and in cap. So you can in cap the opponents to death there with paparazzi. So that's really good. Let's take a look at the next figure that's a common. We have a Mazo. I picked out 10 figures. I tried to narrow it down to 10 for the commons. I also narrowed it down to 10 for the uncommons. But then the rares, there were just so many good rares that I wanted to talk about. So I have 20 rares that I'm going to talk about. So 10, 10, and 20. Okay, so this is the Amazo. Amazo comes at many different point values. I just happened to pick the 125 point value. And as you can see, his dial has no powers on it and stuff. But that's, you'll see why. So he has, at the beginning of the turn, you may choose a character within 4 squares in line of fire and up to 2 standard powers that character can use. If he's 125 points or 100 points, you can choose 3 instead. He can use those powers and has the printed range value of that character until he chooses again. And so that's really good by itself. Also, he has invincible android body. He takes a maximum of 1 damage when attacked by a character that can use a power other than willpower that Amazo can also use. So if an opponent shares a power with Amazo, then that figure is only dealing 1 damage to Amazo. And also, Amazo has a number of really great team-up cards, and you can pick one to use. So if you're using a team-up card, the only thing is, if you use his team-up cards, you can't have anything else on your sideline. But if you use an Amazo team-up, that's only with the Amazo team-up cards. But if you use an Amazo team-up card, you can give him things like, if you use the Flash one, I think it gives him super senses and hypersonic speed. So that's just an example of one that you can use. And that's on top of the other powers that he can pick from his friendly characters. So, if you get someone that has shape change on your team, and invincible, and then you use the Flash team up card to give him hypersonic and super senses. So now he has super senses, shape change, invincible, and hypersonic, and you can just go nuts with him. He's a really good figure for 100, 125, 100, 75, or 40, I think. So, I mean, he's really good. He comes in many different point values. And he's a robot, which is a great keyword. So let's take a look at the next figure on the commons list. We are still doing commons. I think this one is a really good figure from Captain America and the Avengers set. Sharon Carter. She is really good as a perplexer. And when she perplexes a friendly character with the shield keyword, let me scroll down there a little bit. So when she perplexes a friendly character with the shield keyword, she can that character can use outwit. She also has leadership, and if you get her adjacent to Steve Rogers, who is also on my rares list, then those characters both get +1 for their leadership roles. She's got the espionage trait, which means she has stealth. It's basically the same as the mutant CIA trait from the House of X set. She has stealth, moves through hindering, and targets through hindering. She's just a great perplexing character with sidestep for 35 points. I think she's really useful. She also has the leadership and the outwit thing that she does. Very useful figure, Sharon Carter. Let's take a look at the next one. Quake from the same set. Also a shield keyworded team, so you can use them in tandem. The Sharon Carter and the Quake, they go good together. Quake has this pinpoint Quake ability where she can here, let me scroll down so you can see it. Pinpoint earthquakes or just earthquakes. Quake, when Quake uses it, you may choose an unoccupied square within her range, and she may quake as if she occupied that square. Or Quake can use Giant Reach X, where X is her click number. And actually, the one that I've seen the most used is that first one, where she picks a square within her range and quakes as if she occupied that square. Her range is 5, but if you're playing with other shield figures that can use the shield team ability to get her range up, then you can quake from even farther away. And don't forget she can charge with that, so she can move 5 and then quake from 5 squares away, and she does not need line of fire. So that's an easy way of knocking figures off of elevated or into walls and stuff like that with this figure. And she's only a common. She's a really good common, 65 points, power common. Okay, so there's Quake. Let's talk about this one is a common unique. He is legal in the common, uncommon, rare, pauper format, and it's legal in the regular pauper format. So this is the Danger Room Construct Magneto 011B, but it's not really considered a prime. So or I'm not sure if it is, but it's still legal in the pauper format and in the CUR Pauper format. He has 11 movement with running shot, 12 attack with Pensai, 18 defense with toughness, 4 damage with range combat expert. And you might be thinking, well, why is this so good for 50 points? Well, he can only actually deal 1 damage per attack. Well, if he double targets, he can deal 1 damage for each, but he can only deal 1 damage when he attacks. Sorry, well, I should say it the proper way. Characters take a maximum of 1 damage from Magneto's attacks. So, and that's while he has 2 or less error tokens. Also, he can only take 1 damage from opponent's attacks, which makes him very hard to kill. So you have to hit him 5 times, essentially, to kill him, because he can only take 1 damage from the opponent's attacks. He also has, and that's until he rolls a 1 2 times, I think. Every time he rolls a 1 in his attack roll, he removes an error token. Or he gains an error token. Okay, so I think he needs to roll a 1 3 times then. Yeah. His other ability there is that he has Force Blast, and when he knocks back an opposing character, you may choose the direction of the knockback, which is very powerful. So, because especially if you're playing on elevated and you can knock somebody off the ledge, you can choose the direction of the knockback and then just deal them knockback damage, depending on where they are on the board. Or you could just reposition them to help you out. So, repositioning your opponent's figures is always really good. So that's Magneto, and he has an 8 range with 2 targets, so he's really good, and he's a robot, and he's the one that you can include on an X-Men team with Trinary. Let's take a look at Voyager. This is an oldie but goodie from Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati. She's just really good because she is a great taxi, and she also has TK, and she can TK figures around without needing line of sight to the destination square when she's TKing a figure. So she can passenger 3 if she's carrying characters that share keywords. If you're thinking about doing an Avengers theme team or a Cosmic theme team in the Pauper format, she's a really good figure to use. Let's take a look at the next common. Well, I think that was all 10 commons that I went through, but I do have an honorable mention for commons, and actually these are all commons, uncommons, and rares. So it's kind of like an honorable mention would be the common Black Widow Shifting Focus from the Black Widow movie Gravity Feed. But you know, she shifts into the shifting focus figures are all good, and I believe that they're all commons or rares, so you can use all 4 of them. The only one you can't use is the Free Comic Book Day Shifting Focus Black Widow, but the 4 that come in the main Gravity Feed, you can use all 4 of them because they're all either commons or rares. So there are the Black Widows from the Black Widow movie Gravity Feed, and they have the Avengers and Spy keywords, so you can use the shifting focuses, and because they are different set numbers, they still fall under Highlander rules and are totally okay to use in CUR Pauper. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at uncommons. The first uncommon I have is Flash Thompson. So these are uncommons now. So we are looking at the best uncommons from that I picked out to use for the CUR Pauper format for the upcoming Coffee and Clix Classic Epilepsy Research Charity Tournament that's coming up on January 16th. And don't forget to get your builds in to coffeeandclicks@gmail.com. Get those builds in by January 8th. Also, don't forget to message me. You can message me personally on Facebook. My name is Anthony Bruno. You can message me or you can message me at Coffee and Clicks on Facebook to inquire about payment through PayPal. But it's a $10 entry fee for the tournament, minimum donation. So you can donate more if you want, but that's the required amount. Here is and I do appreciate any donations that you make, and also appreciate the participation in the tournament. I hope everybody has a really fun time playing in that tournament. Here's the first uncommon. This is Flash Thompson. I think Flash Thompson's really good because he's got autonomous. He's sidestep and poison. He has close combat expert. He's 35 points, And he has this ability where, well, so you can use him with Secret Identity, which is really good. And he also has this ability where opposing characters within 4 squares can't use Shape Change. And he also has Plasticity and Shape Change himself, so he's a good tie-up piece. He gets rid of opposing Shape Change, and he's got that Close Combat Expert and the Poison. So Plasticity and Poison is always good. You know, I think he's a solid uncommon. You know, I wouldn't sleep on him. On Eugene Flash Thompson. And also, he's got the Avengers keywords. I didn't even see that. He has a lot of good keywords. Shield, Avengers, Soldiers, Spider-Man family. A lot of really good keywords for Flash Thompson. The next one that I picked out for uncommons was Dr. Doom. The uncommon Dr. Doom, unique, from Fantastic Four. Okay, and he... And, you know, I was also going to put Doombots on the commons, but I figured Doombots are kind of included with this figure as well. So, yeah, the Doombots are really great. Don't forget about the Doombots. Don't forget also the starter Doom. The starter set Doom is really good. I didn't put the starter set figures on this list, but you definitely should consider using starter set Superman from JLU, Martian Manhunter from JLU, starter set Martian Manhunter, starter set Doctor Doom from Cosmic Clash, starter set Silver Surfer is pretty good from Cosmic Clash, although I like the rare Silver Surfer better, and starter set. Trying to think if there's any other good starter set figures. I'm sure there are, but those are the ones that come to my mind. Dr. Doom, Superman, Martian Manhunter. Yeah, so this Dr. Doom is an uncommon, and he's got Running Shot, Pulse Wave, and Outwit right off the bat. He also, if you use him at 45 points, he's got the Energy Explosion and Enhancement on click 4 there. He has Leadership and Mastermind, and you can pay I think you can pay 5 points to have him start on your card and have 2 Doombots start in his place. And then when one of them gets KO'd, he then comes on the board. He then appears on the board. So you can do that if you want. And the Doombots themselves are really good because they can kind of stand in the way of attacks. So when somebody tries to attack Dr. Doom, instead they end up attacking a Doombot, and so it's very hard to get rid of your Dr. Doom. So I think Latveria is going to be a good keyword in the tournament, and also Mystical and also Scientist. Those are great keywords. So this is a really good Dr. Doom. Let's take a look at Valeria Richards. Also has the Latveria and Scientist keyword, so she pairs very well with Dr. Doom. She has Sidestep, and she has a Pick a Power where she can pick an attack power and use that power until the next turn. So she can pick Poison if she wants, she can pick Blades if she wants, and she can also pick TK, which is a really good option for her, Telekinesis. And she has a special ability, Here Uncle, I built this for you, Perplex with a range of 8, unique modifier. When Valeria Richards uses Perplex to target another friendly character, or to target another character that shares a keyword, she may instead modify a value except damage by +2. So she can Perplex +2 if she needs to, which makes her very strong for 40 points, especially with that Pick a Power. Okay, so that's Valeria. Really think she's a solid uncommon. Next one I picked out is Firelord, but I picked him out at his 40-point line. I think he's really good at 40 points. He just has hypersonic speed, and for 40 points, he's just a pretty decent attacker. He's got 8 range with 3 targets, so and he's got Power Cosmic. So really good 40-point uncommon, especially if you're looking for filler points for your Cosmic team. Okay. The The next one I picked out is Sabretooth, the Danger Room construct. He's very similar to the same way that the Magneto Danger Room construct. Um, you were able to remove those error tokens, and he only takes 1 damage, and he only deals 1 damage per character that he attacks. This is the same deal. And he has Flurry and Toughness. And so he has Flurry and Blades Claws Fangs. And he has all of those things up there. So Flurry, Blades, Charge, Super Senses, Battle Fury. So really good figure for 45 points. The next uncommon I picked out is Proteus, the orange Proteus from X-Men the Animated Series, or X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga. Here he is. He's just good because he has that ability to barrier, and he can barrier as free or Smoke Cloud as free, but to generate 2 markers. And also other characters within 3 squares of him can't use any improved abilities. And that includes like flyers and stuff like that. And he's got shape change. He's just a nuisance for only 20 points. He becomes a nuisance. He's got this paralyzing fear, colossal retaliation power that he has. And he's power cosmic. So strong figure for 20 points, and he's a monster. And I think monster keywords are going to be good in this format because, I mean, you have Wendigo, you have Undertaker, you have Onslaught, you have Proteus, you have, Wendigo is a rare, so he's now allowable in this format. So you might be able to include him on your monster teams. So let's see, what is another uncommon that I listed here? So speaking of Onslaught, he's an uncommon. There's Onslaught right there. Okay. So here is Onslaught. Let me scroll down so you can read what he does. He has a 9 range with 3 targets. He's 125 points. He's got phasing teleport. He's got a special ability for his attack. He's got invulnerability and a special ability for his defense. He shoots through characters and hindering. He can't be targeted by opposing characters 5 or more squares away. He has protected all kinds of stuff. Protected mind control, protected outwit, and protected penetrating psychic blast. And then once per turn, as he can use in-cap as free, mind control as free, or telekinesis as free, which is great because, if he has 2 tokens, he can still do that, and he can also attack each turn before he can mind control 3 targets for free. That's insane. You can mind control 3 targets for free, or he can TK an object at somebody for free, or even if you get his attack high enough, you could TK an opposing character, or TK one of your characters. You can do so many different things with Onslaught. He's very versatile. And it's really good. And he has prob, and he has shape change, and he has this thing where if he makes a close attack, he knocks somebody back 9 squares. So Onslaught is a great, fun figure to use. Here, I'll scroll down so you can read his abilities. Okay, Onslaught is a really fun figure to use on monster theme teams, or just even if you're not playing theme. Onslaught's going to be fun in Pauper. I'm not sure how well he'll do in CUR Pauper, but I know that he does well in the regular Pauper circuit. So great figure, Onslaught. We really like him. Let's take a look at the next figure. Medusa. This is another oldie but goodie from the ABPI set. She's great because she has leadership, and she generates a living hair bystander, which is basically a copy of herself, only 1 click. And she can push that bystander and then generate another one if the bystander is already on the board. So you can get lots of attacks with Medusa. You just carry her up, with somebody like Voyager, and then you could drop the bystander and then attack with it, and then you know, you could get a lot of attacks in with Medusa, and that living hair bystander gets really annoying to opponents, so it becomes a real nuisance for your opponent. So we always like to be annoying to our opponents. So that's Medusa. She is an uncommon. Let's take a look at the next figure. The next figure in the uncommons list is Billy Batson. And this is to note here. This is something I think we should note. So first of all, this character was designed by Howard Brock, Eastern Brock, and Warren Ginn, the 2017 Hero Clix Team World Champions. And Billy Batson is this picture is kind of small there, but I'm going to scroll down so you can read his text. Billy Batson is just a good perplex figure for 20 points. I chose him at 20 points, but it's important to remember in the CUR Pauper format, you can actually use Billy Batson in tandem with Shazam. So you can use Shazam on your sideline because Shazam's a rare. So if you wanted to, you can pay 40 points for Billy Batson, and then you get that Shazam ability on his stop click, where when he hits his stop click once per game, if this click was revealed by damage from an opponent's attack, and you paid 40 points for Billy Batson, after resolutions, replace him with Rebirth, set number 37A, Shazam on click number 6. This game that Shazam can't be healed above click number 6, and when KO'd instead scores 40 points. So yeah, you can do that if you want in the CUR format that we're playing for this Coffee and Clix Classic Epilepsy Research Charity Tournament. So hope, you know, it'd be cool if some people did that, or nice to see that. I'm not sure. Probably 20 points is a better value for Perplex, but you're getting Perplex and a stop click for 20 points. That's really good. But either way, you can do either. It's an option. Let's take a look at the next uncommon. We have Alex Wilder, also another oldie but goodie. Although some people don't like Alex Wilder, so I happen to like him. But here's the thing: Alex Wilder, he's got stealth, he's got mastermind, he's got sidestep if he's within 4 squares of an opponent. He's got shape change traded, which is really good. Now he gets KO'd. If he gets KO'd, he goes to your opponent's force and becomes your opponent's figure because he's a traitor. Okay, and also if he and his main power, his main support power, is free. An opponent chooses to outwit, perplex, or probability control. So your opponent chooses 2. Alex Wilder can use the chosen powers until your next turn. So basically, your opponent is choosing which one of the 3 that you don't get to have. Okay, and so if your opponent really doesn't want you to have perplex, he or she, they're not going to let you use perplex, right? They're going to say no perplex, right? If the opponent does not want you to have prob in that situation, then they're going to say no prob. So so you're not always getting the powers that you need at that time because your opponent is denying you that power and giving you the other 2. But I still think it's a really strong support piece. For 25 points, you're getting a lot. And he's got good keywords. He's a scientist, mystical keywords. In casual, also Masters of Evil is a fun keyword for him. Casual play. I always liked Alex Wilder. I think he's a good piece. So that's why I put him on the uncommons list here. Let's see. That is the end of my uncommons list. So if you want to take a break, go take a break. Pause the video, and don't forget to come back to see the rares being reviewed. There are 20 rares I'm going to review, which are brand new to the Pauper format because this is not regular Pauper we're talking about. It is CUR Pauper. Commons, uncommons, and rares are all legal in this format. Common and uncommon and rare game elements. So now I'm going to review the top 20 rares that are usable in this format, according to me. So, take that with a grain of salt. Okay, so here are the top 20 rares according to me. Starting with, and I picked out some interesting ones here. I mean, it started with Vulcan. So Vulcan from House of X. He's a big beat stick at 140 points. He's got cosmic energy and the X-Men team abilities, which means he's protected outwit. And he has 7 range. He's got impervious and battle fury and precision strike and a special that says it says he's got hypersonic speed. When Vulcan uses it after resolutions, he may make a close attack targeting a character that hasn't been hit this turn. So that's really good because he can possibly attack 2 different characters, or let's say he attacks the first character and then misses, he can then attack the character again with a close attack. So the way it works is he has to complete his resolutions with his hypersonic. So let's say he moves 5, shoots somebody, or let's say he moves 5, close attack somebody with his hypersonic. Then he has to break away. Then move his remaining 5. There we go. I'm like mixed up with my camera here. So he moves 5. Then he close attacks, hits, moves another 5, breaks away, moves another 5. Next to your Dark Phoenix, hits that because then he gets another attack after that hypersonic resolves. So after he moves away and he moves his full 10 speed, he gets to make a close attack targeting a character that he didn't hit yet with anybody this turn. Okay, and he's got a 5 damage, so he can possibly deal 10 damage in one turn. On 2 different targets. Or if he misses that first attack, he can stop there on his hypersonic and then make a close attack on that same target for free, giving it another shot. Vulcan's pretty good. I think he's a strong, and this isn't even the prime. This is just a regular common. The regular rare Vulcan. So, all right. Well, let's move on to the next figure. Okay. I like Vulcan, though. I think he's strong. Let's take a look at... now, I picked out Magneto here. This is Magneto, the rare Magneto from House of X. But really, I think it's worthy of note that any one of these Krakoan Revival figures are good. Not just Magneto. In the common, uncommon, or rare slots. I think I passed over Emma Frost from the uncommon slot. Emma Frost is a really good Krakoan Revival figure in the uncommon slot that maybe I should have added to the list. So there's Emma Frost. We have Magneto here. Let's take a look at Magneto. So Magneto, it has the Krakoan Revival. This is him at 90 points. He also has a 25-point line if you want to just use him as a retaliator. And you'll see why. So he has running shot with 9 speed, 11 attack with energy explosion, 18 defense with energy shield deflection and mastermind. But he may instead choose a friendly character within 4 squares in line of fire instead of adjacent for his mastermind. So that makes him tougher to kill. And then he's a pretty decent attacker because he's got that running shot energy explosion, which is always good. If your opponent leaves their figures clumped up together, you can hit them with the energy explosion. And he's got leadership, and then he has that free kind of retail, where you can place him so that he can make a range attack, targeting the chosen character. Um, and it's basically a retaliation, but it's not called colossal retaliation, but it's basically the same, almost the same thing. So and then he has the Krakoan revival um, ability, which I don't have that. Well, I guess I could show it. So here's Krakoan revival. That's what Krakoan revival does. Okay. So for all characters with this trait, when a friendly character so if you're playing Magneto with a Krakoan revival trait, um, any friendly character with the X-Men keyword and lower points, if it gets KO'd, it instead does not get KO'd. So that's important to remember. Okay. Um, and then it goes to a starting click and is placed adjacent to Magneto, to the Krakoan revival character. Um, and that's an option. So you don't have to do this if you're playing. You can pick and choose each time you want to do it. If you choose to do that, then you place the character that's getting KO'd adjacent to Magneto, and he's instead not KO'd, and he turned to his starting click. Then your opponent scores that character and generates a bystander. The bystanders, these are not the bystanders. These are the list of characters that can use the Krakoan revival trait. The bystanders, there's 6 different bystanders. One of them is called Skinless Assassins. One of them is called PhD Apes. One is called Horticulture. I forget all the names of the bystanders, but they're all really good. Phobos armor is really good. It has outwit. So your opponent can pick a bystander and generate it adjacent to any one of their characters, and then they would score 10 points for each bystander they generated that game. So let's say I'm playing Regenesis Beast at 40 points, and I'm playing the Magneto. UKO'd Regenesis Beast. I revive Regenesis Beast next to Magneto, so it never actually gets KO'd. But now you score 40 points for Beast, and then you generate a bystander next to your figure, and then you score another 10 points. So you would score 50 points for that particular figure. Okay, so that's kind of how it works, and it makes your X-Men figures very hard to kill, or like it. But you got to be careful because if you keep racking up points, if your opponent keeps racking up points, if they get to 400 points, they automatically win. That's part of the rules of HeroClix. So all right. That's enough of looking at Magneto. Let's take a look at the next rare because we do have a lot of rares to go through. Let's look at Shriek. All right, Shriek was my maybe one of this list, but I just like her. She's 45 points, and she's got the running shot Pulse Wave. If she has no action tokens, she can use Pulse Wave. And she also has Penetrating Psychic Blast. She also has Penetrating Psychic Blast, but if she and targeted characters can't use Super Senses this turn, including for this attack. She takes away Super Senses, so she's really good. For 45 points, I think she's pretty decent. Let's take a look at another rare. Dr. Fantastic. I think he's definitely going to be used in this format because he's got the Latveria and Scientist keywords. He also has Fantastic 4 keyword, which is a very strong keyword. And he has the ability to make... it doesn't say it here, but if you pay an extra 10 points for him, to make him 110 points, he can generate Doombots. Every time someone targets a... here, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is here, but it has the ability to generate those Doombots. If you target them if a friendly character is targeted with, I think, Perplex or Outwit or Probability Control, then he automatically generates a Doombot. So he's really good in that way. He's also really tough to kill, um, and he's got this ability to Perplex or Outwit twice. So he's a great support piece. He has Outwit and Perplex, and then free choose Outwit or Perplex. Dr. Fantastic can use the chosen power an additional time this turn. So he's a great support figure that also generates Doombots. He's really good. Okay, let's take a look at the next figure. Franklin Richards. Okay, he's got a really interesting dial there. Franklin Richards gives your friendly characters within 4 squares power cosmic. And he's basically a pick a power figure. He can pick up to 3 chosen standard powers, and then he gets dealt damage after he picks the powers. So he won't last that long if you keep picking powers with him, but he's just a really good piece for 65 points. Let's take a look at Silver Surfer. This is not the starter set Silver Surfer, who's also very good, but this is the rare Silver Surfer from Fantastic Four. One of the more expensive rares that you can find in as far as like buying singles of. And he's just a powerhouse at 150 points. I mean, if you pair him with like Valeria Richards, who also has a Fantastic Four keyword, you can perplex him up to high amounts, like even just like, I don't know, Silver Surfer, Valeria Richards, and Dr. Fantastic, so Silver Surfer gets really strong. He's got hypersonic speed. When Silver Surfer uses it, after resolutions, you may choose a character he hit or moved through. The chosen character gains immobile until your next turn. So that's really good right there. He's got prob. He's got invincible. He can choose a standard attack power an opposing character within 8 squares can use, and use that same power until your next turn. So you can choose attack powers. And he gets this Dawn Greenwood bystander that buffs up his stats also. And can like teleport him around too, because I think you can power action with Dawn Greenwood to place Silver Surfer adjacent to her. So yeah, and he's power cosmic, of course. Yeah, Silver Surfer's a great character too. So I'd like to see some Silver Surfer get played. I like him. Next rare on the list is Steve Rogers. Okay. The jokes about welcome to the Avengers. Because what he does is he adds a 50-point or less figure standard character and makes it into an Avenger. That's the main thing that Steve Rogers does. He's also tough to kill. He has that living legend trait. He has perplex and sidestep. He has the shield and Avengers team abilities. He has traded leadership. And that leadership pairs well with the Sharon Carter that I told you about earlier, because if they're adjacent to each other, they each get +1 to their leadership rolls, and they both share keywords. So you could maybe, if you wanted to, so his trait there, during force construction, you may choose a standard character of 50 points or less. That character loses its printed keywords for the entire game and gains either Avengers or Shield keyword. So like if you wanted to put Gardner on your team, because Gardner's a rare too, he's on this list. If you wanted to put Gardner on your team as an Avenger or as a Shield character, you could. Right? So that's something that Steve Rogers can do. Let's take a look at Eugene Torbett Witterspan. I wasn't sure if I was going to include him on this because I don't know how good he really is, but I think he's fun. He's only 25 points. He's a giant with charge quake, and he does not count against theme teams, so he can really go on any team. And if he hits, it really hurts your opponent because hit characters can't be given actions except move actions. So that's why I included him on this team, because he is a rare and he is usable. And I thought it would be funny if people used Eugene Torbit Witterspan. Okay, let's take a look at the next rare on this list. Wendigo. And I have him at 1 point. Sorry, 15 points. At one click of life, 15 points. So here's Wendigo. Wendigo is really good. You can just get, I mean, for some reason, whenever I play Wendigo, I crit miss with him and he dies. So, um, so I'm awful at playing with Wendigo. He never works for me. But you can get a lot of attacks with him. You know, he has that colossal stamina and steel energy, and flurry, charge flurry. And then when he hits somebody, he gives him a wounded token, which then gives him sidestep, and then he can end his movement and make another close attack to target a character with a wounded token. So he can make up to like 4 attacks or something crazy. And then he heals up each time he deals damage because of steel energy, and then he's got that stop click. So yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he's a very good figure. 15 points, and he's got monster and mystical keywords. So and animal if you're playing animal. So he's got good keywords, and he's only 15 points. So yeah, definitely a good addition to the CUR format. Let's take a look at the next figure I have. All right, this one I think is going to be the biggest figure in the CUR format, Dark Phoenix. I think that's going to be the most popular figure in the CUR Pauper format, just because she's so good, and she's like a meta figure that's usable in CUR Pauper. Okay. She is a retaliator. She's the only retaliator. Well, no, not the only retaliator, but she's probably the best retaliator in the format. And she is power cosmic, 30 points, 10 range with 3 targets. She can attack smaller figures even if she's not retaliating. So don't forget that. So she can retaliate and then make another attack, which is really good. Don't forget that when she retaliates, she sees through she deals damage even through blocking squares, so she doesn't even need line of fire. Or what does it say here? Free. If no friendly character has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Dark Phoenix or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. Place Dark Phoenix such that she can make a close attack targeting the chosen character, then do so also targeting all other characters, friendly or opposing, within 3 squares. So it says within 3 squares. It doesn't say she needs line of fire. Hit characters are given an action token and each dealt 2 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. So don't forget about that action token thing. If you're using her, a lot of times when I use her, I tend to forget that she gives out action tokens. So she's really good. And each time she KOs somebody, or if she deals 4 damage to somebody, she heals a click. So if you retaliate with her, KO 3 figures, then she's healing 3 clicks. That's going to combo really well with the Krakoan Revival bystanders. So if your opponent has a bunch of Krakoan Revival bystanders on the board, and then you retaliate with her, and you KO all those bystanders, each one of them is giving her a heal of 1 click. So that's really important to remember. Okay. Let's take a look at Astronomer. Okay, these ABPI rares are still really good. And I didn't put Trader on this list. I was going to put Trader. I just was running out of room. Trader's great. He gets less good because you can't use the Space Gem. But he's still good with the other gems that you can use with Trader. And also because I don't know how much equipment swapping there is going to be. A lot. I mean, there's people are going to be using equipment in the format, but I don't know how good Trader is in this format. But Astronomer is really good. He's always really good as an attacker. I think he's best with the Power Gem in this format. I mean, you could play him with the Mind Gem, but the Mind Gem is not legal in this format. But the Power Gem is really good on Astronomer because it gives him Range Combat Expert and Close Combat Expert and +1 damage. So you can really dish out a lot of damage with this guy. The thing about him that's so good, not only can he TK people around because he has this like double TK power that he does, but he also sees through elevated and hindering, and he has 11 range, and that's like really his specialty. There is to sit back 11 squares away behind elevated and shoot people with his Power Gem Range Combat Expert that gives him 4 damage plus possibly 2 more, 6 damage. He could possibly do 7 damage with the Power Gem on if he rolls a 10 or higher and hits. So that's really good. Yeah, Astronomer's great. Power Cosmic, he's a great figure. Okay, let's take a look at the next figure. And he's actually 80 points. He's not 75 because if you're paying for the Bearer of the Infinity Gem trait, then he's actually 80 points. So don't forget that about Astronomer. He's not 75, he's 80 if you're probably paying for his trait. The same thing is true with Gardener. Gardener is on this list, and he's just amazing. But he's not actually 45 points. He's really 50 if you're paying for his trait, for his Bearer of the Time Gem trait. And you can only use the Time Gem with him, but the Time Gem is legal in this format because it comes with the rare Captain America. Okay, so you can use the Time Gem with Gardener. And the way Gardener works is he's got Sidestep, and he can, at the beginning of the turn, he can make a hindering marker. He can generate a hindering marker within his range, which would be within 7 because the Time Gem gives him +1 range. So you can generate a hindering marker within 7 squares of him, and then you can attack, make a close attack from that to anybody that's standing in that hindering marker. Okay, and you can generate those hindering markers right under your opponent's figures, and it's a free close attack. So he can make another attack after that because the close attack that he's making from the hindering marker is totally free. Okay, so that's something that, and he's got Prob with the Time Gem too. So don't forget he has Prob. Gardener's really good, and he's Protected Outwit. He's got the Power Cosmic team ability. Let's take a look at another figure, Spider-Man from ABPI. A lot of people forget about him because he's a rare, and he's not been really used in any formats, but maybe this format makes him a better figure to use because it's a common, uncommon, rare Pauper format. So in this format, I mean, this Spider-Man with the Iron Man suit, the Iron Spider suit, has always been a really good rare from ABPI. Look at his attack numbers and his stats there. He's got a 12 attack, 4 damage with shape change. He also has super senses, I'm pretty sure, because it's Spider-Man. Let's scroll down to take a look at him. He has, at the beginning of your turn, you may choose one, Flurry and Giant Reach 2, or Combat Reflexes and Stealth, or targets out of hindering and 3 targets, and triple target. Spider-Man can use the, targets out of adjacency and triple targets. Spider-Man can use the chosen effects until you choose again. So usually if you're not attacking with him, you're making him Stealth and Combat Reflexes, which is really, really powerful. And if you are attacking with him, you're giving him Flurry and Giant Reach 2. It gives him... he has Super Senses, and it's Protected Outwit, so you can't even outwit his Super Senses. And he starts with Shape Change. He can Leap Climb, and after he uses Leap Climb, he can be given a close at no cost. So he can move 9 squares with that Leap Climb, and then he can Flurry. So you can deal 8 damage from 9 squares away. That's really powerful. And he's tough to kill. So he's got the Super Senses, the Shape Change, and Invulnerable. So and he can copy. He's got the Spider-Man team ability, so he can copy another team ability. That Spider-Man's really good. Okay, let's take a look at another figure. We're almost down to the end here. We have this one I picked because I thought he was a solid beat stick rare. This is the Superman Beyond Superman rare from Justice League Unlimited. Um, he's just really strong. He's got 3 stop clicks. He's 175 points. He's got 3 stop clicks. Um, and he's protected outwit, except for in certain scenarios where, unless a character has higher points or has the Superman enemy team ability, which is rare. Okay. Once per game, he can phase teleport with a speed value of 12 and remove an action token from him after resolutions. So it's kind of like taxiing himself just once per game. He has Quake, but when he uses it and targets more than one character, he deals the full 4 damage instead of 2 to each hit character. So that's bestial right there. That's really brutal. Charge, the attack there, high defenses. He's got leadership. I mean, he's a lot of points. So 175 points is a lot of points. But if you want to use a big one-man army brick, this Superman might be a good choice if that's what you're going for. Let's take a look at the next rare figure, Hawkgirl from JLU. And I chose her at 30 points, but she also has a 60-point line that is also very good. She has a bunch of team abilities, team up cards. She has a bunch of team up cards that make her better. I mean, there's one that gives her shape change. There's a whole bunch, she's just really good for 30 points because she has. Let me scroll down so you can see all of her stats. She has the charge and flurry, 11 attack, 18 defense with combat reflexes, and she moves through characters. She's flying. She's just a nasty figure for 30 points. You're getting the charge, flurry, and combat reflexes. She's a really good figure for 30 points. And then if she hits a mystical keyworded character on top of that, she deals a penetrating damage. Okay, that's Hawkgirl, and she's also 60 points. She's got like 12 attack or something like that. So she's good at either 60 or 30. The next figure is from the same set is Martian Manhunter. Now this is not the starter set Martian Manhunter, but this Martian Manhunter at 50 points, I chose him at 50 points. He also has a 100-point line, but I really like him at 50 points. If you're using the starter set Martian Manhunter, then don't use this one. If you're using this one, make sure you use the team up card that gives all your Justice League characters, or a lot of them, like where their first attack the first, if they're on their first click, attacks only deal them 1 damage. I think it's team up card number 11 for Martian Manhunter. If you're playing Hawkgirl, if you're playing Batman, if you're playing Wonder Woman, all these Superman, they all get almost like a stop click on their first on their, like if they get hit and they're on their first click. So that's a really good team up card to use with this Martian Manhunter. But obviously, if you're using the starter set Martian Manhunter, then you can't use that. But this is what this Martian Manhunter does. He's 50 points. He has shape change and super senses, so he's hard to kill. Plus, he's got impervious, so he's got 3 rollouts. If he uses shape change and succeeds, you may change the target of the attack to a character other than the attack that is adjacent to Martian Manhunter, even if an otherwise illegal target. So that's really good. Plus, he has mind control and he has phasing teleport. And if he phasing teleports 4 squares or less, he may make a close attack. So it's almost like a charge, kind of. Only he can phase through things. And he's got leadership. So and he's good on Justice League teams. So there you go. There's Martian Manhunter. Let's take a look at. So I talked about Shazam, so I might as well put him up there. Shazam. Billy Batson can use him on the sideline, but he's also a rare that is really good to use. I mean, if you wanted to use a gigantic one-man army brick, Shazam from Rebirth, 200 points. He's got the Mystics and JLE team abilities. He can be protected. You can choose either protected Prob, Pulse Wave, Mind Control, or Outwit. And you pick one of them. Also, at the end of the turn, if he has not been moved or placed this turn, give him a Zeus's Might token. Modify Shazam's defense +1 for each Zeus's Might token he has. When Shazam moves or is placed, remove all Zeus's Might tokens. Okay, so if he just stands there, he gets stronger and stronger with his defense. And then when you can Hypersonic and Quake at the same time. So you can use it at no cost instead of a close attack while using hypersonic speed. So you can hypersonic and then Quake, and he's got Prob, and he's just a tough dude at 200 points. And he was also designed by 2017 Clix World Champion Howard Brock. So that is Shazam. Then if you're playing Justice League, here's another figure that you should probably be using that's a rare. So Justice League might be a viable team in CUR Pauper. This is Amanda Waller. She has leadership, she has Outwit and Perplex. She's got Mastermind, so she's tough to kill. And she can make a Batman family figure better during force construction. And you can just keep her in stealth, and you can or you can keep her next to somebody so you can mastermind to them if you don't want her to die, or if you don't want her to get KO'd. So that's Amanda Waller, and she's got the Justice League team ability, Justice League keyword, because this is during the series when she's older. This is the future version of Amanda Waller where she is aligned with the Justice League instead of against them. So in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon series. And then let's see. Let's take a look. We only have a few left. So these last ones are not from Justice League. This is Magneto. The 2x2 Magneto, which everybody loves. Great sculpt, by the way, on this Magneto. He's 25 points. You can use him at 200 or 300 if you wanted to. But this is him at 25 points. What's funny is you could actually use, I was talking about this with somebody, you could actually use Dark Phoenix at 300 points if you wanted to. But I don't know how good it would be, but you could use you can use her at that point value. Here's Magneto at 25 points. He's got Sidestep, TK, Toughness, and a special ability for his damage power. He's got 8 range with single target. His powers, he's got I know he's a Colossal Retaliator, and also he has his trait is he's got traded leadership, so that's good. Free, choose a character within range and line of fire, place that character in a square adjacent to his current square, which is really good. You can just place things one square away from their current square and just move them up the board, or move them in, position them however you want. And then he has that retaliation. His damage power is the retaliation, where he can retaliate and be placed so that he can make a range attack targeting the chosen character. It's important to keep in mind that even though he's a 2x2 character, he is not a giant or a colossal. He is only a standard size character, so he cannot draw line of fire through certain things because he does not have great size. Okay, and then let's take a look at the last figure on the rares list is Proteus, the green Proteus. I already did the orange Proteus, and this is the green Proteus. Okay, and this green Proteus, he's got the deity, monster, and ruler keywords. He's only 10 points. So if you're looking for filler on your monster teams, this is it right here. He's really good. He has the ability to heal up, because if you miss him, and he's got super senses, by the way, so if you miss him, he heals up past the starting line. He generates these blocking, hindering, or obscuring, or water terrain markers whenever a character within range is given a costed action. and he's got like this retaliation power where he where I think he makes characters immobile. Okay. Um, Actually, he can make a lot of characters immobile all at once. So yeah, so I mean, he's just good as a rare usable figure in this format. And that is the green Proteus. There he is, right there. Okay, green Proteus. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the commons, uncommons, and rares. It's a review of the best commons, uncommons, and rares for the CUR Pauper format, for which is the format for my Coffee and Clix Classic coming up January 16th, which is a epilepsy research charity event. It's $10 to enter. Please register and enter. You can message me for PayPal information or for payment, and email build sheets to coffeeandclicks@gmail.com. That registration and team bills are due by January 8th. That way, get them in soon so I can start looking at them and get everything verified. It will be a pod play event starting January 16th. So that week between the 8th and the 16th, I'll be reviewing builds and getting everything organized. And it's for a good cause. It's for epilepsy research. All the money goes to the Epilepsy Foundation. It's 100% of the entry fees are going towards the charity, and I'm paying for the pricing and everything. So the prizes are so far what I have is two Majestics prize kits that I purchased from Patrick Ipoko out in Majestics. The first prize kit was a Agents Lobby map, and then also some LEs and stuff like that, some older ones. And then the second prize kit was also a Majestics prize kit with the Clock Tower 2015 Back to the Future map, which is one of my favorites. And it also comes with some like older LEs and stuff like that. And so when I distribute the prizes, I will allow the winners to pick which map they want, and then I'll kind of do like a snake draft thing, or possibly do like we'll see how to distribute it, but it all depends on how many people enter the tournament. So if a lot of people enter, then I might add pricing as well, and so I hope that it works out, and I think everybody's going to have a fun time. So don't forget to register and play in this event. Register by January 8th. And you can always check out my Facebook page, my Facebook group, Coffee and Clix YouTube, Coffee and Clix HeroClix discussion group for more details. And don't forget, everybody, wake up and smell the clicks. Bye-bye, everyone.